Hey everyone, we're here with Kevin Kaine from, they call him Pac Sun for whatever reason. I want that story in a minute. From Knocked Loose. Knocked Loose is, you guys all fucking know him. Fantastic, blowing up, huge, hard working, probably one of the hardest working bands out there. Kevin, thank you for taking time out of your day to hang out and chat with me.
Yeah, what's up, Tom? Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm really excited. When we talked the other day, I told you I'm super super happy for you guys as a band to see all the success that you guys are seeing because it's fucking awesome when you can see someone do something they love, get out there and work hard at it and see those.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, and just to speak on that, you were telling me a couple of weeks ago it was you were hitting your 200th episode. Is this 201? Are we early 200s right now, or?
No, this is like I gotta think, dude. So two I release three a week.
Oh, wow. Holy cow.
Yeah, I do. I know it's a fucking lot. So I release
That's
three a
great.
week, and I record. I gotta think. I think what is today? Wednesday. So maybe like 205 released today, and I've
Well,
got
congrats.
like six or seven. Thank you.
Yeah,
I got
yeah. We'll
stuff.
talk about working hard at something you love. That's super cool, man. Congrats.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Like one of my favorite things is seeing you out at shows because I know you're like a big supporter of, the scene around here, which is really fucking awesome. I think it's really important for some of the smaller bands to see, right? See that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you. Yeah, definitely. That's truly, I moved to Louisville in 2010, and pretty much from the get-go tried my best to kind of integrate into whatever was going on here musically. And it's kind of, where it started, where I came from, and something that I hope to keep part of my life for as long as I possibly can. But my little brother, he's in a couple bands now. He's 20 years old and they're playing shows. So if he's at a show, I'm hanging out with him. He's showing me new bands in the area too. But I love it. It's just one of those things that I get a lot of joy out of, and I love seeing him now be a part of it too. But it's fun, man. I love not to be a cornball, but love live music. Like love seeing a show. I love the energy. Louisville's got a great scene, so
Dude,
it makes
and
me happy.
JP is a great front man, dude. Like
Yeah,
he absolutely crushes it. Like I saw them, I don't know, I think I've seen Surfaced four or five times now, and I'm just like, hell yeah. Like even in
dude,
those few times to see the growth that he's had is fucking amazing, dude.
man, he's doing stuff. I'll watch him play a show, and he'll make like a new noise, and I'm like, where do you learn to do this stuff? And I kid you not, he told me, he's like, I would practice on my drive to school every morning, like in the car. And I'm like, well, something's working. Good for you.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, that's what it takes, right? Is that practice. You practice where you can, when you can, whatever it is,
Definitely.
you know?
And self-discovery is always super important, and especially I tried to do vocals in a band almost 10 years ago, but to see him, he is way better of a vocalist than I could ever be. And it's cool that that's kind of the route he found and the route he went for himself. But I appreciate that. I'll tell him you said that.
That's probably in part because of you and seeing like the work you guys put into it and that success, which is awesome. I know I don't know what other band he's in, but like I've paid a lot of attention to Surfaced because again I love their live show. I think the energy they bring is fantastic. And they're also out there like working real hard, which is super cool.
Oh yeah, he plays guitar in a band called Shattered Cranium, and I think they're playing on Friday. He was asking me if I was going, and I don't even know where, but I could pull that up. If you got nothing going on Friday.
I'm actually at
Uh,
a music festival Friday and Saturday.
oh, cool. Okay. 105 West Market Street. Oh my God, that's at Losers. It's at my bar. Okay, I might as well go.
That's
Well,
the it's
that's
hold
one way
on,
to find out.
it's wrong side now.
You're
You don't
right.
want to get
Sorry, sorry.
sued.
You're
Like
so right. You're so right. Yeah, it's always going to be Losers in my heart.
like when that name changed, I was like, what the fuck, dude?
I know it was a pain in the butt, but we Actually, I don't know if I should say this super public, but like we haven't changed the sign yet. I think the only thing we changed was like how we show up on Google. But it's one of those things, if you're new, you call it wrong side. If you're a long time goer, it's still losers.
Yeah. I think that's, that's another like really cool aspect is that you guys put back into the community, which is, I think for any like art community, right? You're always looking for someone to like make it, whatever that means, and turn back and really give back. And that's like Losers has been, for me, I don't know. I've not seen a whole lot of shows there, but I would say somewhere between like 10 and 15 shows, and
Oh,
it's
great.
always a great time.
That's cool. Thank you. Thank you. It's one of those I didn't think we were gonna do shows the way we're doing shows now originally. We wanted the first year of being open, we tried super hard to do some kind of live music like 7 nights a week. That was the goal. And we've kind of transitioned from the classic, bar gig, whether it be acoustic or a cover band or something like that, to I've talked to my business partner yesterday. We've got six local promoters booking shows out of that room, which is hilarious to me because I'm thinking it's just a 50 cap room. Like, you get 50 people in there, it looks crazy. So it's funny to see that transition to, oh, we are actively trying to bring young bands, new bands into that kind of space, which is a fun turn of events. There's been some headaches with it, but that comes with the territory.
There is always headaches with owning any entertainment complex or bar or
Oh yeah.
whatever.
Oh yeah, I should have seen it coming. Do you know? Are you familiar with Trey? Have you met him before?
So I know him. I know that I've met him. He's served me at a couple of different bars.
Yeah, I mean, his family's been in the industry since, gosh, the 70s. His dad and mom have owned bars, clubs, restaurants for a long time. And the last venue that he had, it was kind of clubby, and then he really leaned into wanting to be a venue owner and operator and promote shows that way. So I think this is cool that he's able to get into this space and then scratch that itch by working on these shows. He takes care of the calendar and stuff like that for us. But I just love that. I'm like, oh, JP's playing on Friday. Where at? Oh,
It's my place.
at my place.
That's fucking awesome. He's gonna be like,
Oh.
"You son of a bitch! You didn't even know."
Well, he was asking, hey, are you going to that show? And I said, I'll see. And now I feel more inclined to.
Yeah, it's at my place. I gotta go. Like, oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's cool though, especially like those smaller rooms, I think for a lot of like up and coming or even out of town like newer touring bands to have that smaller room to fill out, and make it look a lot, you know what I mean? Like what does the camera say, Because that entices the
Exactly.
people to come. Like shit.
Exactly. It's one of those spots that it doesn't take too many people to bring that kind of energy for if it's a hardcore show. Even if five people are moshing, it's like, all right, half the room's moshing right now.
Yeah,
But it's cool. It's fun to see who we've had come through and who continues to get booked there and stuff. And I'm curious to see where it goes in the future and what we can pour into that space to improve it as well. But it's been a fun project. It's definitely been a lot of fun.
for sure. That's super cool. That I think one of the most memorable shows that I went to there was like it was Southpaw and Surfaced.
Oh
And
yeah,
I don't remember. There was Resistor was on that, and there's like I think two locals, Vile and who was that? Was it Give
I
Up?
it might have been Give Up. They've definitely come through a bunch. I'm trying to think if I was home for that because I know Surface and Southpaw toured together,
Yep.
and it must have come through. I don't know if I was home for it, but I do remember that flyer popping up.
I don't think you were home for it. I think you guys were in like Europe or something.
It all blurs together at this point.
Yeah. What a what a hard life. Oh, I gotta go to Europe again.
I
Like
know, I know. Well, it's one of those things that we've toured with guys that have been touring for 15, 20, 25 years, and there's always this kind of reluctant energy kind of having to go to Europe and what I can kind of deduce from that is it is harder to get over there. You're renting gear most of the time. It feels like you're far from home. So I can see after that long, people kind of having this feeling of the shows are fun, but oh, we got to go to Europe. But every now and then you meet a guy that's like, oh, I get to go to Europe. I get to go to Europe for live music, and this is my job. And those are the people you got to stick around because that's just very infectious, and it'll make you
It
have a better time.
Well, and it's funny, like just that the linguistics around like how we think, because if you're like, man, I have to versus man, I have the ability to or I get to, it's like it really changes the way you think about it
Oh
itself,
yeah.
you know,
And
100%. Like man, I get up and go play live music today. Like, holy fuck.
yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Everything comes with its challenges, and like you said, everything kind of has its headaches, but it's uh it's a pretty cool gig, that's for sure.
So what, in your years of like touring and the success you guys have seen, what has been the biggest headache that you found like touring?
Headache? Oh man, I do personally experience even the love I have for it and the joy I get from it. I do get burnt out, and I appreciate you acknowledging how hard the band works. We do spend a lot of time on the road. Heavy years, probably about 6 to 8 months. A lighter year is, which we've got a lighter year this year, is a lot of festivals that will fly in or drive in or something like that. But even doing it comfortably, it will still wear you down. After, gosh, I remember the tail end of 2022, we were out for, it was almost like 4 months straight or something like that. And I felt it in my body. I felt it in my back and I felt it in my playing. I was like, my body is having a harder time just keeping up with the job because it's been every day of this for however many days. So I think a personal headache of mine is feeling like I'm not conditioned to do this for long periods of time. And by that, I don't mean years. I mean like 60 days straight,
Yeah.
70 days straight kind of thing. And then on top of that, I think even though the job is very, very cool, it is kind of taxing being away from home for a long period of time. It's, months of being in a bed that's not yours, like an unfamiliar room, unfamiliar city. Everything kind of weighs on you. And after so long, it's like, I am homesick. And fortunately, my mom has told me for years that I compartmentalize. So when I'm in it, I'm in it. But I do notice the last, I would say, week, I start to think, oh, in 7 days I'll be home. 7 days I'll be in my space and I'll be in my bed and my shower.
It's like that
So,
vacation syndrome at work, you're like, I'm getting ready to go on vacation. I don't really give a shit about this.
uh-huh. It's like senioritis for the last week of tour. But I would say, fortunately, that being the headaches that come to mind, I'd say there are way worse problems to deal with in life than some burnout. Because I
Oh
think
yeah.
obviously everyone deals with it, but I feel very lucky that that's what I feel about the negative side of things.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. And I get that like being away from home for, for a long time. I mean, I think if we look at like heavy music as a whole, like Slayer, who you guys just are the direct support of September 20th, like they are doing something very similar to what Metallica does.
Oh yeah,
Metallica flies in and does their Friday, Sunday, or Thursday, Saturday shows, and they're done for the week. And Slayer's like, cool, we'll do a couple of one-offs this year, yeah, we'll play this festival and we'll play there. And like, of course, it's taken them what 40 years to get to that point. So there are,
definitely.
a lot of multiple day on the road shows and then lots of like months on the road. So I think I hope that you guys get to that point where you can go, you know what, dude, we're going to do like a world tour for 6 months, but we're just going to do two shows a week.
Gosh, that would be the day. Honestly, I feel like I'm so, and I would say all of us are so used to the way things are right now that even thinking about that being a way to do things is so foreign. Even honestly, the last couple years, like we I would say 3 years ago, maybe four now, like we were still in a van. We were still like packing 8 to nine people in a 15 passenger van with a trailer and making a gig work. Even thinking back to that, like that feels normal. Even thinking like, oh, the last 3 or 4 years we've been in a bus, like that's still strange to think about. So to then think about, oh, maybe one day we'll we'll relax a little bit and do 2 shows a week, fly home. I think that's like the country band schedule. I think they just do weekends and
Hey, you know
wild.
what, dude? If it works, like that is how it is. But if you look at it, right, it's what do they play? They play major markets. There's
Yeah.
so there's not really any like little smaller markets. Like uh when's the last time Metallica played here? 2, 3 years ago, something like that? No,
And
longer ago than that. It was pre-COVID, I think.
was it because I know they did louder, but maybe it was pre-COVID.
Well, they did louder post-COVID, but I think they did 2 shows in the Center in 2019.
Okay. Oh, I would have to look back on that because I thought you meant Louisville in general.
Well, I meant
I don't know.
outside of the festival zone because when we start adding in like louder than life, like that really like expands like how many bands come through, louder. What it's 160 bands a year or something like
God,
that.
that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. It must have been pre-COVID for the Yum Center then. Is that when they were doing the Friday, Sunday, or did they do three or
They did Friday, Sunday. So
cool?
they've been doing the 2 shows. I'll be honest with you, I don't know exactly when they started that. It might have been about 10 years.
Good for
But
them.
yeah, to be at that point where they're like, yeah, cool, we'll just do 2 shows. And I'm
Yeah.
sure, with like James's struggle with sobriety, that really helps him. So he's not like stuck around, like the drinking and what have you all the time.
Yeah. And I feel like, gosh, they must be close to 60 or in their 60s to live the lifestyle of what 20-year-olds are actively trying to I guess chase after years and years, decades of doing that. Relax a little bit. You deserve
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. There were another like, I often reference like Metallica and Slayer and Megadeth and Iron Maiden because those are the bands that I grew up with. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
cool.
Like my introduction into the heavy metal world was Kill 'Em All and, oh shit, I'm blanking. Some early Slayer albums, you know what I mean? Like that was my introduction. I mean, dude, I'm fucking almost 50. But
We look great. Never would have guessed.
thank you. It's, seeing the work that all of those bands put into it, the time on the road, the time in a van. Dude, I mean, in those days it wasn't even like rent a van. I think one of Slayer's first tours, they rented a U-Haul and like someone drove, another car behind the U-Haul. Like, holy
Uh-huh.
shit, you
Uh-huh.
know?
I believe that. It's one of those things. If you want it bad enough, you make it work any way you can. But
Yeah.
that's cool. Just hey, throw the gear in a truck and we'll hop in mom's sedan and make it happen.
Yeah, it's it's making your own way, which is what I think historically like heavy music has always been about. It's not about like, well, I'm gonna wait for someone to offer me a show. It's, hey, you got a basement we can play in? Let's go do it. Like we can only make money selling merch. Awesome. We'll just make more shirts and do it cheaper, whatever that looks like.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. And I'm seeing a lot of that. I know we talked about it a little bit, but I see a lot of that in Surfaced right now. JP will call me and say they've got a bit of a team working with him now, but he would call me and say, do you know anyone in Georgia? Like, how do I go play in Georgia? I'm like, well, you're going to want to get on Facebook and message this guy. And then how about that? We used to live in Jacksonville. Let me see if I know anyone in Jacksonville, Florida. And they have really tried to make their way around on their own. And then, like you're saying, printing shirts. JP was trying to work at a print shop for a little bit, and he's thinking, oh, if I'm working here, I can probably do ours for cheaper. We're not paying for labor, whatever it is. I just
Yeah.
there's a grind with this lifestyle, and I think if you got it, you got it. If not, you don't, and that's going to show who's going to kind of break that barrier a little bit.
Yeah, there's not going to be like, it's not, I think a common misconception is, oh, we'll put out our album and everyone will come knocking on our door. And no, they're not. Like, if they don't know you, they're not trying to find you. Like, that is
Oh
the
no,
reality of it, you know?
absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot of work that goes into, I think, front to back in anyone's career, but the early stages are a grind.
Yeah, it's like, uh, it's so weird. You can relate a band to like relationships, and those early stages are really like teaching the baby how to crawl, how to walk, how to say its first words. That's those early stages of being a band because you are learning how do we how do we promote, how do we connect with people in other cities and trade shows or get shows, who's got the cheapest like t-shirt printing, who's gonna, give us the best quality, whatever. Like it's I don't think that a lot of bands, I would say probably 90% of bands, I don't think they think that in detail about like steps a band has to take to get somewhere, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think everyone's path is going to be different. I think some people might live in a better location for it. You know, if you're coastal, you're getting more shows. If you're in the Midwest, it might be a little tougher to make that work. If you're taking long drives to get to the next city to play your next show, even in the early stages, it's tough to get out of town. I really feel like we're fortunate living in Louisville that early in the days of Knocked Loose, it was you pop up to Chicago 5 hours away. You pop down to Nashville, you pop over to Cincinnati, and we're really in a good location to start playing out of town. But I can't imagine bands in like I don't know North Dakota. I know they exist. I I'm blanking on
Mall.
buddies we've played with. Oh, they are. I
Yeah.
just saw them on the flyer yesterday. What are they about to do?
They're coming to Magbar May 15th.
Is that with?
They are by
Is that?
themselves on that show, but they're doing a run.
I think are they with
Uh,
the Acacia Strain? Did they just
they are.
announce?
Yep.
Okay, that's what I just saw. That's cool.
Because I think you guys play the next day with the Acacia Strain at Welcome to Rockville, right?
Oh, would that be the? We're playing on the May 16th.
Yeah.
Pulling up
Yes.
the
And the
schedule now.
Acacia Strain is the 16th down there also.
Oh, great. Oh, that'll be a good reunion. It's
On
all these flyers too. I'm trying to keep an eye on what friends of
who
ours are
were we
playing
playing
and
with? Yeah.
who do we get to see. So that'll be great. That'll be
Oh,
fun.
and I might be wrong. They might actually play down there on the 15th. So
Okay.
I feel like it's the 16th, but if I fuck that up, hey, sorry guys. Like,
I'll take a look too, and we will probably get down there a day earlier. So with any luck, we'll pop over to the festival and watch a few bands too.
hell yeah. Yeah, and you guys aren't like low on the bill either, which is freaking awesome.
That's wild to see. I went the first year they did Louder here. I was in high school when I went, and it's so wild to see. Even before that, back when it was Rock on the Range, is
Oh
that
yeah.
what do they call it now?
Danny Wimmer presents.
Yeah, what's the Ohio one?
Oh, it's Sonic Temple.
Sonic Temple. I think that's the same fest. They just did a little rebrand. But I'm in high school getting introed to these festivals, and it's very wild to see what we're able to do with them now. Never would have thought. Just 10 years ago, 12 years ago, never would have thought. But
Right.
it'll be
Well,
cool.
it's like I said, dude, I am like I'm so happy for the success you guys have seen. Like
Thank you.
first for obviously for you guys and the amount of work you put in, but secondarily for the amount of talent we have here in Louisville. It's I think it's you guys have really helped shine a light on a lot of the Louisville talent, which is fucking it makes me happy because I want all the bands to keep making music, like bring
Of
us
course.
more.
Of course. That's cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, we've always, even from the start, like wanted to put on for where we're from and maybe who we've done it with. So I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, I think it's cool.
Fuck yeah, it's super cool. Gates to Hell just had what their album release at Headliners. I think that looked like it's sold out or was at least really fucking close to selling
Oh, I
out.
believe it. I would have to look. Yeah. We were unfortunately out of town for that too. Did you go?
I had a ticket, but I did not.
Oh,
I
rats.
Yeah, I mean, life, life
Of
sometimes
course.
just pulls you in another direction and like, all right,
Sure.
whatever. But I had my ticket. I was like ready to
Oh man,
go.
that would have been a good one to see. But I totally understand life pulling in different directions, of course.
Oh yeah, it's well, you don't know yet, I don't think, but like kids, dude, kids are a lot of work.
I can only imagine. No, no kids right now, but one of these days, I'm sure I'll learn a couple lessons there.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not real hard lessons. Hopefully you get it pretty like
Oh,
uh
that'd be great. Do you
yeah,
have a DM1?
I have two. Yep. Now
Yeah, two.
they're
Oh,
um remember I told you I'm almost 50. They're a little bit older.
okay.
They're not like 10 or 11. Like my youngest is 18
Okay.
and my oldest is he'll be 21 next month.
Oh, right on. Right on. Cool. Do they have any interest in this world at all, or
They so they've been raised in the metal world. Like
cool?
we take them to shows. Like my one of my daughter's first metal shows was Max and Igor doing Return to Roots at Diamonds.
Oh, cool. On Barrett.
Yeah,
Cool, cool.
that's so like that was her like introduction, and I think she was probably 9 at the time. So she walks in and all there's a couple of locals that were playing and they see her with her little blue hair and they're like, "You're the coolest thing ever." So they like sign drumsticks and CDs and give to her, and
I love it.
she was fucking hooked like right at that moment. Just like,
That's
hell
cool.
yeah.
That's cool. Do they go to shows kind of on their own time, or do you guys all go together, or what's the dynamic there?
So now my daughter, she does go to shows on her own. She'll go with her boyfriend.
Cool.
A couple years ago was like the first time we try to go to Louder Than Life every year because it's like it's like our family thing, our family time. But that year, I guess, what was it, 3 years ago, 2 years? I guess probably 2 years ago was the first year her and her boyfriend like went and they kind of ran off and were like on their own without us. And my wife's like, "Are you okay with that?" Hell yeah,
Oh,
dude. They're absolutely familiar with the environment. They know if there's trouble, where to go, like where to get help. Like they're familiar with it. They've known this for years. Like if they're gonna
that's
do it,
cool.
like we know, like, hey, they're gonna text us if there's a problem, or we'll find out if there's a problem, and we are right here ready to go.
That's cool. I love that. I love that. Keeping it
So
in the family too. That's great.
yeah. And then, I mean, I think it's like every family, we have like our family bands, like we try to
Okay.
go see. Like Deftones is a big one for us.
Cool.
Love those dudes. I've probably I say this and I don't think I'm exaggerating at all. I've seen them hundreds of times.
Cool. I love
Like
that. That
so
is that's wild. Have you traveled everywhere for them?
yes. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great.
I will, dude, if I love when I love a band, not if I love a band, but when I love a band, I'm like, I got nothing going on this weekend. They're playing in LA. I guess we're going to LA,
Cool.
you know?
Cool. That's great. And I feel like you get to see I feel like there's a different climate with a band in different parts of the world or different parts of the country even. You might get a different energy in Boston than you would in Louisville versus Los Angeles. So that's cool that you're able to kind of see all versions of it.
Yeah, it's really cool to experience like from a fan's perspective because when you go, I mean, I'm sure from your years of touring, you go to this town and you meet someone, and the next time you go to that town, you're like, man, I hope that person's there because that
Oh yeah.
person was really fucking cool, and then you run into them and it's like,
Oh
yes,
yeah. Oh yeah. Well gosh, I'll get that at in the early days it's we're selling our own merch where there's nowhere to be. We're kind of in the mix with everybody. And then I feel like it's kind of changed to now it's, oh, you go next door to the restaurant, get a bite, meet someone sitting at the bar, and you're like, oh, well, cool, you're going to the show. Nice to meet you. And then you come back again, they're at the same bar, they're at the same restaurant. I love stuff like that.
yeah,
It makes it
it's
feel a little more like home.
well, I think I don't want to say people discount it, but I don't think people maybe give it enough credit, like the relationship that are built between fans or, the band and fans, like when you meet them outside of that environment, you're like, oh, we're gonna stop and go have dinner somewhere before we go to a show. And I mean, we did, oh, let's see, I guess Tool played the Yum Center a few years ago, and we went and we had, I don't know, there's probably a group of 10 or 12 of us from the region that went and had dinner at the Troll Pub, and just able to
Oh,
like
cool.
catch up, and you like meet, like, oh, so and so brought, this new friend who's, cool part of the group. Um and you get to see the different way that they all react, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like, fuck, dude, this is awesome, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh, that is cool. That is cool. I love that makes me think of I've got a buddy of mine. I don't know if you would know him. His name is Chris Meadows. He
Uh,
is the rock doc. He's a chiropractor. He'll come to shows. He'll do anything from Wrong Side to the Yum Center, coming and taking care of bands. And I'm going to tell him I talked about him, but every 2 weeks, he's here in Louisville. Every 2 weeks, he just sends a mass text to 30, 40 people of saying, hey, we're getting dinner here at this time. I'm bringing the wife, I'm bringing the kid. And you go and it's not all 40 people, but you get up to 12 people, and it's all different walks of life that are all connected through this guy Chris, and then you end up making conversation with someone maybe you never normally would, and it's like I never would have talked to this guy if it wasn't for Chris, or I wouldn't have met this woman if it wasn't for Addison. And then you leave that dinner, and I'm relating this to, you guys are all at Troll Pub thinking, oh, this is a good group, and we're all in common in some way.
yep.
We're not going to a show afterwards. Sometimes maybe we would, but I really love that sense of like new connections and community kind of at the same time.
Well, that's it, right? Like, and I think that's really important. That's a really important like thing, is the sense of community.
Big time.
Like, I'm such a huge proponent of like mental health. And you don't know this, but I'll let you know. So my entire life has been, in one way or another, like a struggle with mental health. So my mom was bipolar. I know my grandfather had some mental health issues. My little brother in 2019 took his life.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
So, well, as hard as it was, it kind of set me on this like mental health journey. Like, I was a proponent before, but that dude was like, he was my best friend, had been my best friend for 40 years, and it was like we were we were inseparable. It was part of
Yeah,
it. So it really, it made me do a lot of research on like mental health and the things that help. In that I think I'm gonna get this wrong. So someone like research it and tell me the actual truth. But Harvard did a study over 80 years, and they found that the people who were extroverts and had that sense of community had like, I don't remember the exact number, but I think it was like an 83 or an 87% less likelihood to have mental health issues.
interesting.
Holy shit. Just from a sense
Yeah,
of community.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Wow.
so, for me, I think that sense of community is so important for all of us, and I want, like, I'll go to a show and it's so weird. I look for that person who isn't talking to anyone, who isn't hanging out with anyone. And I'm like, hey, dude, how you doing? They're like, what?
That's cool.
Like, you're here. Fucking, are you enjoying the show? What band? Like, I want to know. I literally want to know, like, why are you here? Not because you're out of place, but because I want you to feel welcome, you know?
Absolutely.
This is this is the world. This is what it
Yeah.
should be, Like, my favorite thing about a live show is nothing outside matters. Your political preference, your religious preference, your sexual preference, none of that shit fucking matters. We're here as human beings enjoying a band.
Oh yeah. That's amazing. That tells me a lot about your character if you're reaching out to these, whether you want to call them alone or someone that maybe just showed up to the show by themselves. That says a lot about you. I think that's really sweet. That's really cool. And it probably makes a lot more days than maybe you realize.
I hope so.
Definitely, definitely does. That's really cool.
That's so weird. So weird to think about. You know, I never thought about it like that. I'm just like, fuck, I want to see this person at the next show, whatever it is. Like,
Well, they're going to leave that night, go home, and think, man, I just met Tom today, and he included me in what I was already there to do by myself. And that sense of community, I'm sure, radiates through the group. You add another person to the group, and that's really cool. I admire that a lot.
yeah, hell yeah. So what, like, enough about me and my fucking crazy head. What's your favorite thing about like just going to a live show as, not as as a performer, but as a fan?
Oh, I love it. If it's a band that I've followed for a long time, of course, I want to see the songs I love and hear the tracks. Most of the time, I feel like these days I'm lucky enough that it feels like I'm catching up with friends. If buddies come through town, I make it a point to go see them. If I can't make the show, maybe we grab a meal. And if it's someone I've never heard of before and something clicks, it's the excitement of, oh, I just found something new. I just found something new that I like. An example was the other day at Portal, the Fit for an Autopsy came through, and a couple of those guys that have been buddies for a long time, and the band that opened for them, they're called Mugshot. I don't know if you've heard of them.
That night was my introduction to them.
Yeah, yeah, you were there. We literally were
Yeah,
we were hanging. That was the show. I've been to so many in the last couple of weeks, and they started playing, and I'm like, for some reason, I thought they were from here. I'm like, these guys are killers. Like they sound great, they look cool. Drummer can play. Like he's got so much style. And I'm texting my brother saying like, these guys are from here. Why have I never heard of them? He goes, oh no, they're from California. I don't know why I had it in my head, but I had
dude.
so much fun. And I grabbed him. I said, hey, that was great. Nice to meet you. Their guitar player was wearing a Knocked Loose shirt, and I think that was a good icebreaker. And afterward, I was like, hey, if you guys are hungry, I've got a bar 10 minutes away. Come, we'll feed you, have a beer or something. And they ended up coming through. It was pretty much just us, JP, and Mauled, who opened from Indy. No one else was in the bar. It was really cool to just like have that moment with the guys that played
Yeah,
that night. But that's an example of I went in blind and I'm hearing a band for the first time and ended up really liking it.
that is that's one of my favorite things, and I preach like go to the show early and catch those early bands like Mauled. I was like, okay, like I'd seen him on a few flyers. I'm like, okay, like I'll get there. I was actually impressed with those dudes. Like, holy shit. Okay.
They're
Like these,
they're nuts,
yes,
and
they,
they're kids.
yeah. I was like,
They're like 17 to 20.
I'm old enough to be their dad. Holy shit.
They're sweet, man. I met them through JP, and they've grown to be one of those bands that if I see them even opening on a flyer, I'm gonna get there early and come see the boys. They've stayed at this house. They before I even had a couch down here, they slept on the floor. So I got a soft spot for them, that's for sure.
Yeah, they were good, and I really wanted to see Tracheotomy because the last time when
Oh yeah.
Surfaced was on tour with them, I was supposed to go. I think they were playing like Covington or something, and I had plans to go to the show. Like again, like tickets ready to fucking go, and last minute something popped up. I'm just like, fuck.
Life gets in the way, man. I know how it goes.
Yeah, it's that, but that was another one. I think that whole bill was really like a solid bill. Like there wasn't a band that I was like, man, about.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's
fucking,
cool. That was a good game.
it's hard to find that anymore too.
I know. I know. Every now and then you'll get one that's like, "Oh, I'm here all night and I'm enjoying all night."
Yeah, and you're like, yeah,
But
this is fucking awesome.
that's
So,
cool. Definitely, yeah, preach, get there early. You might find something new and something you love.
well, dude, like, who was it? When Decapitated came through with Septic Flesh, Cataclysm, and Allegiant. talking to a buddy of mine's son. He's like, "Hey, dude," I think he's like 18 or 19. He's like, "Hey, man, are you going to the show tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there." Right? Like, I'll 100% be there. He's like, "Oh, cool. I'll I'm like, when are you coming?" "Oh, I'm not going to get there till later." I'm like, "Why later? Like, there's four bands on the bill. Like, come early." He's like, "Okay." And he shows up. And are you familiar with Allegiant?
I don't think I am. Maybe I've
So
seen the
they're
name, but
Yeah, they're a metal blade band. I think now they just released like their seventh album,
oh wow,
but they're like tech death. I've been friends with a couple of those guys for quite a few years now. So I'm like, make sure you get there early. So dude shows up and he watches them and they get done. He looks at me, and goes, "Holy fuck, they were good." Like,
cool.
this is why you go to shows early, dude. Like
Yep,
this.
good
Uh,
call. Yeah, I'm sure. He left that night and he was like, you know what? I'm glad Tom got me there early.
yeah. I
Found
think
something new.
it's important, right? Because even you guys were that opening band at some point, and like you don't know, you're gonna see a band and maybe in 6 months they're gonna just fucking blow up.
Oh yeah, I feel like it happens. It happens more often than maybe we really notice. But things I feel like are growing quick now more than ever. But I will not be shocked if a situation happens where you're like, oh, I see this name, at the bottom of the list on the flyer. A few years go by, and you're like, oh well, here you go. They're headlining Louder Than Life.
Yeah,
Shit happens all the time. Well,
actually,
maybe not all the
like
time.
I'm surprised that maybe surprised isn't the right word. I'm happy for Deftones to be, at the level that they're at. I think the last tour they did, I gotta think. I think it was them and Gojira
Oh, cool.
and they were playing like 7 to 10,000 seat like venues, which
Hmm.
is like even that's like holy shit, dude, that's a lot of people. Um, and this tour, they're in arenas. Like I think they played Little Caesars in Detroit, and that's 22 or 23,000 people.
Whoa, that's a
I
wild jump.
Yeah,
That is a wild jump. Is this the they're out right now is
with the Mars Volta,
Fleshwater opening?
I think so.
Yeah, okay, cool. We've got some buddies in Fleshwater and I've been seeing clips of friends going to see them and it's like you're seeing your friends play in an arena and you're like, "Holy crap, it really
Yeah,
is working."
it's super super fucking awesome to see that, dude. Like, I mean, man, just watching bands like get that success after all those years of work, like from a fan's perspective, I'm a little bummed that like Deftones are as big as they are because I
Sure.
love, dude, I saw them at headliners, like
That's that's crazy to think about.
it's so fucking wild. And even, that headliner show was, dude, there was more people in there than I think you could fit into Paris Town Hall. Like it was
Whoa.
insane.
What how many years ago was this? Do you remember?
God, it was probably 2003-ish.
Oh, that's cool. That's very, very cool. I didn't realize Headliners was was that venue here that long ago. A buddy of mine, Brandon from Atreyu, he came through for it was like he was DJing an emo night or something like that, and we were catching up, and he's like, "Dude, I've been here, and it was 20 years ago. It was like us and Lamb of God."
Oh yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, like this is like the local stage, and I'm trying to imagine Deftones on the stage, Lamb of God on the stage. Like that's really cool. I love thinking about the history of all of it. I think it's really, really neat that they came through and now they're doing Little Caesars in Detroit.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people really understand the smaller, I don't want to call it the smaller circuit, but like the less capacity, circuit. Like those times and those shows are so detrimental for like the growth of a band, because I feel like you go from playing like one or 300 cap rooms to like 500 to 1,000 that's a different stage that you've got to get used to, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
And then you go from that 1,000 to like 2 to 5,000. And again, it's like, oh shit, what are we going to do on this stage? You know, as you guys have obviously seen, right? You got to add more shit to your stage setup.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You need to, with that space, you got to put on a bigger show. You got to get bigger ideas. But man, that's a really good thing to think about because I feel like, the smaller capacity circuit, I feel like I've seen like groups making a living in this 500 to 1,000
Oh, yeah,
range. Like if you can stick there for long enough, you can make that work for like a really good amount of time. And maybe it is, I'm just thinking out loud here. Maybe like, you know, you mentioned earlier something about making it and maybe making it is in that range. You know what I mean? Like being able to support yourself, make a living, doing 500 to 1,000 cap rooms, but consistently for a good amount of time is to me that would be making it.
it's different for everyone, right? Like some
Definitely.
people, it's the arenas, but if we look at another band that's been around for decades, the Melvins, right? They're not playing arenas. Like they're almost every time they come through Louisville, they play headliners.
Okay.
They're at they're getting ready to come through with Napalm Death, which is going to be wild.
Cool. Cool.
But they're at Mercury Ballroom that night. I think is that the night? I think that's the night you guys are in Rockville. I think it's the 16th.
Okay. I'm missing
But
all the fun.
no, you get to have all the fun. But what do? They found ways to like merchandise themselves. What one of my favorite things is posters. I
Oh,
absolutely love posters. If I go to a show and I have to steal a poster from a wall, I will steal a poster from the wall. Like
right on.
whatever. But I probably got a half a dozen Melvins posters around my basement, you know,
Cool. Cool. So you're going to that gig. You're gonna go see them
100%.
and Napalm. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Dude, I just saw Napalm. Oh, we did, what was it? We did Headbangers Boat in October last year.
Oh, fun.
That
Oh,
was,
that'll be sweet.
oh man, it was so awesome. So Napalm Death was on there and they did 3 sets and I got to see them in, I guess one of the theater rooms was probably 800 or 1,000 people.
Oh, wow.
And then they played, was it, they played a stage, um, that was maybe 150 people.
Cool.
That's where I thrive is those like smaller venues. God, when you guys played Portal,
Oh, yeah.
dude, that was so fucking wild.
Oh yeah, we love doing stuff like that. But that's cool on the cruise. 3 sets, did they do 3 different rooms?
Yes.
Or did they do the big and then the small? Was there like a medium?
So, well, like I think I gotta. So the theater room was, I think the theater room was like the medium room. They had
Okay.
the pool deck, which is where like Lamb of God played both their sets.
Okay.
They played out there once, and then they played the little one, and that little one was super cool. We watched Frozen Soul like play a couple of sets there, and there was this dude in the King Kong fucking thing in the mosh pit. Dude, it was so great.
Jeez. Characters. That's so cool though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
that's gotta be fun. Doing a cruise. Being on a cruise and seeing a show like that.
dude, you guys should do next year's with Lamb of God. That's what we need to make happen.
Where does it that would be awesome. Where does it leave from? Where does it go? Like what's
So
the circuit?
last year we left from Miami, went to Dominican Republic and back. It was just 4 days, five
Cool.
days, 4 nights, something like that. This year we're going to Cozumel and back to Miami.
That dude, that's like killing two birds with one stone. That's the tropical vacation. And then talk about community.
Yeah,
That is, you are on vacation with like your community of people.
dude, it really is. You know, it was one of the most relaxing times. It was the first time since I don't know when that I actually shut my phone off and had like no access to the outside world and was like running around. Like I met John Campbell on the boat, and
Oh,
he
cool.
probably the next week or the week after that was on the podcast.
Oh, cool.
Seeing the guys from like I Hate God. I love I Hate God, have for a lot of years. So seeing those dudes and like and they're like, hey, just like stop and chat with me. And my wife's like, they fucking know you? Like, yeah, because I'm a nut, babe. Like
Oh,
ever,
that's cool. That's did you like bring go with the group? Did you meet people on the cruise that you're saying, "Oh, let's go on the next one," or what was that?
so we did one of my best friends. We actually like we bonded, we trauma bonded
Oh,
because 2019, my little brother killed himself, and almost 11 months to the day later, his son took his life.
man.
Um, so we were actually friends because of, do you know the band Battle Cross?
I want to say that sounds familiar. I don't know if I ever would have listened.
So they're a thrash band out of Michigan. Both of us were like just huge fans of the band, and we kind of became friends through that. But it was not like, hey, let's go hang out or anything. And then we had the suicides, which bonded us. And I just, through my experience, kind of helped him through that. And he was like, last year, he goes, hey, dude, we're going to do this thing. Okay, sounds fucking awesome. He's like, cool, I'll buy your tickets, just pay me back. I'm like, all right. So we went, we met some people, just had a, I'm gonna tell you, dude, had a such a good fucking time.
I believe it. I believe it. I love that. The only thing I can relate to is I went on, my best friend lives in Jacksonville, Florida, and he and I went on a cruise when, oh man, I think it no occasion. It was just, hey, we both have time off. Let's take a couple days. And we met separately like 12 other people that to this day we all keep in touch all over the country. So like we go and play in Michigan. These two people are coming out. We're playing in Florida. These guys are coming out. Nashville, we have a place to stay, that kind of thing. And the band kind of makes fun of me for it because we will be somewhere and I'll bring a friend of mine that I met on the cruise and introduce him. And the band's like, how many people did you meet on this cruise? Like every other day, you're bringing someone around that you met on this cruise, and I'm like, hey, friends for life. I don't know what to tell you, but I
Dude,
think that's super. And it wasn't even like a headbangers cruise; it was just a
just a
classic,
cruise.
yeah, just a cruise. But I'm sure if we ever do something like that, I would have a ball. I would really enjoy it.
Oh, dude, listen, even if the band doesn't go, you should fucking come out. Like it
I'll cruise with.
it is so much freaking fun. So we did what we got a room that sleeps four last
Oh,
year.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, so
It,
it's you've got like a queen bed and then like a fold out like couch bed thing.
oh, okay.
So last year, you know, we got the room that sleeps four and it had a balcony, and I'm like I'm a little bougie. Like I like that fucking room, but I don't want four people in there this year. Like
Sure, sure.
just us. My wife's like, "Oh, sounds good." I'm like,
I'm
"Yes."
sure, yeah, she's probably down for it. Yeah, four people, one bathroom. I don't know about that.
Wait, really, it like that part of it isn't so bad because like sounds funny, but like when you go to a metal show, you have what the smells that you're familiar with are like cat pee, BO, you know what I mean?
Jeez.
Like that's a metal show though. It's like it's a mix of like weed, BO, and cat pee. You're like,
Okay.
I don't know what's going on here.
Did
Um,
the breeze of being on the upper deck help with that at all? Or
had no issues with it at all. I smelled a lot of
amazing,
weed, but other than that, like it was good.
classic. That's good. That's cool.
It's a lot of fun. I feel like Lamb of God knocked loose fucking boat would just explode.
Oh man, yeah. Who do we talk to?
Yeah, I don't.
Who do we tell about this?
I'll put in a word.
Yeah, yeah. Please do. Please
Yeah,
do.
with my fucking people, whatever that means.
You
They're
host.
on the boat this year.
Oh,
Kukulkan,
rad. You know what? I'm gonna look this up because maybe, yeah, if this doesn't happen for us, maybe I'm just coming along.
dude.
Yeah, I'll look it up after. I'll look it up after.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be like really it's in my mind probably one of the best experiences of my life, just because my wife is she likes music, but she's not nutso about it like I am, you know.
Sure.
So this was her whole plan was I'll just hang out by the pool and you go do you. I'm like, all right. Well, you can't do
Perfect.
anything by the pool because they've got a fucking stage out there.
Oh, that's where they, okay. Dang. Wait, can you be swimming in the pool and listening to Lamb of God at the same time?
They've got so they had the pool covered.
Oh, smart. Okay.
So like you had the stage and then both maybe one or both of the pools were covered. So you're there for the stage, but you can be in the hot tub and watch the band.
That sounds pretty sweet too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, relaxing in a hot tub and Lamb of God is playing. What a
Yeah,
crazy life, you know?
I wouldn't mind that one bit.
No,
I'm
it was a
looking
lot of
into this.
fun.
I'm definitely looking this up after.
Hell yeah, I'll send you a link to it.
Yeah, please do.
So let's get back to you. What tell walk us through like your drum set.
Ooh, okay. So I've kind of had the same setup for, my gosh, probably about 10 years, maybe a little less. I've added a couple things here and there, but I'm playing an SJC custom drum kit, and I got with them a few years ago, and they've been great. They really care about our relationship. They want me to be happy with the products that they make and the drums that they make, the sound, the look, and all of that. And they're really good about kind of touching base and checking in. So every release that we've had since A Different Shade of Blue, I've done a custom kit for, kind of around the vibe of that album. So Different Shade of Blue was kind of this blue and black kit. Tearing the Fabric of Life was this kind of wood grain, two kicks, rack tom, floor tom, floor tom. And then for You Won't Go Before You're Supposed to, all the string players went with white guitars. And in my mind, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to keep the wood grain drum set. And they were like, you got to go all white. Like, it would be so cool if you went all white. So I said, sure. So the most recent kit I've got two 22-inch kicks, a 10-inch rack tom, 16-inch floor, 18-inch floor, and then cymbals are all Zildjian. I've been with Zildjian for maybe 5 or 6 years now. And Eric Gross is my guy. He's my rep for Zildjian and Vic Firth. And pretty standard. I've got new beat hi-hats, a 9-inch Oriental Splash, 12-inch Oriental China. And then I play two 20-inch A custom projection crashes. And Eric, my Zildjian guy, recently tossed my way. They just brought out the Z Custom line again. So he gave me a Z Custom Mega Bell ride. That's been great. It's classic. It's timeless. It's awesome. It'll never break. And then China's have been tough because I typically play a 19-inch ultra hammered. It's like an A series, but when I break them, I go to get new ones, and they're like back ordered so much that they've sent me some other stuff to play with. And I think the one I've got right now is the Z Custom line, and I think it's an 18. And then that I can swap out with like an 18-inch Oriental. And then far right is a 23K sweet ride that I use like as a big, like the crash for the big parts. And then the most recent ad is from SJC. I got a little 10-inch side snare added on because I did a couple new little groovy things on the last record with a side snare. We wanted something super like high pitched and pingy, and I got to start writing with that thing again. I need some ideas, but I also I don't know if I'm ready to talk about this yet. Uh,
Yes, you are.
I've used I'm so ready. I've used Tama Speed Cobras for the last probably decade. Um, Loved them. They were great. And then I recently got a pair of these. I don't even know what they're called, but they're Pearl's new direct drive double pedals. Do you play drums? Am I just
No,
talking
I
now?
don't play
Okay.
drums, but I understand
Okay.
completely. Okay.
Well, I just got these new Pearl, and it's my first time ever playing Pearl pedals or really having any piece of Pearl gear. But they're new direct drive. I think it's their like Demon XR or something along those lines. And ended up really liking them. I just brought them to Europe. We did a couple weeks worth of shows in Europe, and like I played them live. I play them at the house, and it's my first time in 10 years like using something new. So I feel weird about it, but I really was digging them.
That's cool. So you hear that, Pearl?
Yeah, hey, send me an email. Let's see.
Yeah. Let's do something for Kevin here. Let's get him some free pedals.
That would be incredible because they were a pretty penny for, and I get it. They're so machined and perfect, and but I had to give it a try. I'm thinking it'll make me better. If that's the case, I'm getting in
You
touch.
know, it's funny. A lot of people are like, you don't really need the high end stuff if you're really good. But I think when you're really good, when you get the high end stuff, you don't notice it as much, but it does. It increases your speed or your accuracy because you're not, especially with the double bass pedals, like you're not using as much energy to get them to go back and forth.
They're very true. My drum tech, Jacob, when I brought him out for the first time, he played on them too, and he was like, it feels like nothing's there. I was like, good, maybe that's the point. But that's funny you mentioned that, really good players playing on crappy gear. There's a video of Chris Turner. He's an English guy and phenomenal drummer. Some of the stuff he does is unbelievable. I don't know how he can make his body move the way he's making it move. But he did a video where he played on, it was like the first double pedal ever made, like the mechanics. And it was very strange. Like, I don't know how, I don't know where he would have found it, but he is doing insane footwork on like these janky old pedals from God knows when. And really, one of the top comments was like, see, it doesn't matter what gear you have. Like, if you're good, you're good. Like, if you practice, you're good. So I've thought about that a lot lately, is putting the time in, but maybe it is helping a little bit. Some new
Well,
gear.
I wholeheartedly believe that. And I think about it in like, so I used to be a warehouse manager.
Okay.
And so like when you think about like think in terms of productivity, a lot of those productivity growths are so minute that it's, like it doesn't we change this gear and it's over the next year it's supposed to save us $1 million in labor. But,
Mm.
you know, does it really?
Right.
Whereas I think when you're like a drummer or a guitar player and you've got some really fast action, you can really see your accuracy improves because you're not trying as hard to get, that next note or whatever it is, and you're not putting as much energy into, hitting the pedals because it feels like nothing. Like, dude,
Yeah,
we're not doing anything. So the technical ability, it increases because it's a lower threshold. It's a lower energy threshold to get to the next thing.
that's true. I am a big believer in small changes compounding into larger results. So I'm gonna start thinking about that a little more.
Yeah. You should make some videos between like
Oh,
I'm I'm that guy. Like you should totally do a video and like if it's only for yourself just to see the changes between how the pedals react or how you react to the pedals.
honestly, that's yeah, not a bad idea because I rarely see like that angle. If I were to get, videos of the mechanics of the pedal working, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah. That's yeah,
Give
that's
that a
crazy
shot.
to think. One of my favorite things, Battlecross was doing their final show. They were going on hiatus for a while, so they did a show in 22, I think it was. And I did I streamed it live, like up there on stage with the phone and all that. And um the one thing that I love drummers, like I'm always in of a good drummer because I don't have the coordination at all to do that. So I did their drummer is Brian Zink. So I made sure to film some of like Brian's footwork and show like him. And I think that went over really well. People were like, holy shit, because no one ever shows the fucking footwork,
That's true. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
So people that were watching the stream were like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, like that's super
Oh,
cool,
cool.
you know? So it was that that was really fucking neat.
That's rad.
Ah, God, I wish they'd play another show. I love those dudes so much.
Yeah. You said hiatus, not fully done, just taking a
They called
break
it a
or.
hiatus. I'm a firm believer that if a band says they're just going on a hiatus, at some point they will return. But I did an episode with them last year, and in the episode, one of the guitar players said, you know, like he's like, I think we need to do another album. I'm
Oh,
like, oh, I love that. Like this makes me happy because you know the dudes are just they're super super good dudes, and they're I'm gonna say they're a little bit older. I mean, they're like probably late 30s, early 40s now.
okay.
So they're trying to do the band thing and have kids and you know do the
Mhm.
families. So it was you know some I guess too much for them at that time.
Sure. It's got to be tough to juggle. I mean, I truly can't imagine parenthood yet. But I would not be able to imagine that with the, I don't even want to say the lifestyle, but kind of the schedule of what it takes to be in a band that is hitting the road and putting out records and doing all this. It's incredibly time consuming, and I can imagine so is parenthood.
Yeah.
Uh, I know some people do make it work, but maybe the hiatus that they're on is recalibrating and figuring out, hey, can we make this work? How can we make this work? And that could take a little bit of time.
Yeah, and maybe you know, maybe it's a different world for them moving forward, you know, instead of, and it's okay. It's absolutely okay if they say, you know what, we're just going to do 3 or 4 shows a year and we're going to have fun with it. Like, I'm good with it. You know,
Yeah,
like,
cool.
I think as a fan, like, if the band is going to play at all, like, fuck yeah, you know?
Oh, absolutely. That's cool.
Um,
They've gotten to that point of out of the van and 2 nights a week,
yeah,
4 weekends a year, whatever it may be.
well, you know, that's exactly it. And I think there comes a time in I think every band's like career or every musician's career where they have to make that decision. Are we gonna like keep hitting it hard or you know what? Maybe there's something else to life because I'm too homesick or
Sure.
whatever.
There's a balance. There's a balance to everything, and maybe for a while the grind makes sense. And maybe you're working now to relax more later, kind of idea. But I also can't help but think the time spent trying to figure all that out is what you also should be enjoying. Got a buddy, Cody, he plays drums for Jelly Roll, made the Nashville move, and he tells me about these kind of like writers' nights and you're all kind of jamming, round table jamming. I think that is so cool. I've never done anything like that, but I
Dude, you
love
and
that
I will take a
idea.
trip down there one week and we'll go hit a couple of them because you'd be amazed. Like it's another like part of the community. You meet so many people and there are like metal musicians who are trying their stuff acoustically and then there's country, you know, like songwriters that are there and everyone's like talking and bouncing ideas off of each other. It's really, really, really a lot of fun, man.
I believe it. Yeah, I love that. That'd be great. Let me know.
Hell yeah. So when you guys play Detroit, that's where I actually grew up is Detroit. What venue has really stuck out to you there?
Man, we've been doing Detroit for a long time. I can't help but remember forever. We did. It was like the old sanctuary. That was. I don't know. It felt. Was it an old church or something, or it was just like a room in a place. And this is 10 years ago, 2015. But that was like the first or second night of maybe it was the second night of my first tour ever. We were at Sanctuary in Detroit. And then the last time we were there, I want to say it was I think it was the Fillmore with Motionless, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a
But
cool
that
one.
that would have been a couple. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. Oh, low battery. Hopefully this lasts.